Yeah, it actually is.
Yeah.
That is from the court case. That is not. That was not Hulk Hogan about my dick.
That is Hulk Hogan's
Hogan's
music,
dick.
not Terry Hogan's dick.
Yeah.
I got you.
Oh
I got
my
Did
you.
you just say
God.
Hulk Hogan's
Oh
music?
my
Yeah.
God.
That's not Hulk Hogan's dick.
It's not Terry.
So, Marlon, I know. With all the sports shit going on right now, you are chomping at the bit to tell America. Let's just say America how you feel right now.
I hate the Lakers.
I knew it.
Boom. That's it.
I knew it was coming.
I'm not
All
gonna
right, go
get
ahead, stop. All right.
how much I'm gonna get into it. Really depends. I wrote a lot down, and I'm gonna go over
He
it.
was that mad.
I was that mad. I was getting harassed by my buddy Chris because we're both Lakers
Dear
fans.
Lakers.
If I could write a Lakers a letter, I would.
You could.
But it's I'm gonna wade into it. First of all, we had the draft lottery was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Right.
The Lakers had a ugly % chance of getting anywhere in the top 2, 3, 4, whatever. Well, these Lakers got the pick number 4.
Right.
These Lakers traded the number 4 pick plus 3 draft picks, 3 first-round draft picks,
Mm-hmm.
plus the young core of Josh Hart, Jason, whatever his name is. Jason, I think it is Jason. Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram, all for one player. So that's 7.
Who was
7
the player?
Anthony Davis,
Yeah.
who is a top player in the league, played for the New Orleans Pelicans, which the Lakers traded or got rid of or let go of Julius Randle, who's another favorite former Laker of mine, who's on the New Orleans Pelicans.
For those of us who don't follow sports that well, when did the Pelicans become a thing?
They used to be the Hornets out of Charlotte.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they went from
Because
Charlotte.
I remember seeing the Pelicans. I'm like, who the fuck are these guys?
They went from Charlotte to New Orleans,
Okay.
and then they wanted to change their name because they want to be the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte used to be the Bobcats, and they got the Hornets back.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been a little
It's
shifting,
a-
little shell game going around.
They
with
did a
NBA
Redskins
teams.
kind of thing, but not as offensive. Got it.
A Colts, Baltimore.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Lakers traded 7 players for 1 player, and I'm very upset at that because to me, again, I love the young core they had: Jason Hart, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, and I'd love to have included Julius Randle and D'Angelo Russell. They got rid of D'Angelo Russell in a trade because of some dumb stuff he did with. I know him as Swaggy P now, but I forgot his real name. But anyway, he did some stupid stuff with him. They got rid of him. Then they let Julius Randle go. Julius Randle's one of my favorite players, but they had a very young core going on with the draft. I thought they were headed in the right direction. They were making improvements. They were maturing, and then I don't know if it was the LA fan base or the LA front office panicked. They pushed the panic button.
Front office. LeBron came.
Once they got LeBron, they tried to trade almost a whole team mid-season to get Anthony Davis, and that GM wanted nothing to do with LA.
Yeah.
So he publicized, "Hey, they're trying to trade the whole roster for 1 player," and the whole team was like, "Why are we going to continue playing well if you're trying to get rid of all of us?"
Right.
So went all shambles. Okay, so that trade that should have happened mid-season just happened within the last couple weeks. So going back to that number 4 pick the Lakers won in the lottery draft, that pick, as I was mentioning earlier to one or both of you, that got traded with a package of players and additional first-round draft picks, total of 4 first-round draft picks for Anthony Davis to New Orleans. New Orleans, in the last couple days, if not yesterday, or in the last couple days, traded that number 4 pick and the number 57 pick in Solomon Hill to the Atlanta Hawks for the number 8, 17, and 35, and a protected of this year's draft, which is going on tonight.
We're missing it.
Yeah, I'm missing it.
For you guys.
And
Who loves you guys?
And they have a 2020 first round pick protected that's also in that acquisition.
Right.
So I'm mad about that as a fan, and I will go on record as I have with some other friends that I'm basically boycotting the Lakers for the 1919-20 season.
1919?
2019.
You say 1919?
Dude, these drinks have been amazing tonight.
The beer
You
has
young
been flowing.
whippersnappers, we haven't even started the NBA yet.
These goddamn basketballists.
The 2019-2020 season, I probably won't be watching a lot. Even if they win the championship, I don't care.
You are gonna watch.
I'm probably not gonna watch.
You're mad now until they start winning, and then you're like, you know what? I still hate what you did, but
this is where I'm gonna get
I
text.
enjoyed this basketball that you're playing.
This is where I'm gonna get text that we need to go to a bar, and I'm just gonna be like, "Oh, what are we doing? We're gonna be sitting here watching this TV. Hang on."
I guarantee you that will not happen. So the Lakers are on probation for the 2019-2020 season.
Fair enough.
For me. So
Like they already passed that suspension, dude.
uh,
A couple years.
so I was looking at the projected roster for the New Orleans Hornets with all those acquisitions they had with the young talent they had. They drafted number 1 tonight. They won the number 1 overall,
Pelicans.
the
Right.
Pelicans,
Okay.
and they picked up Zion Williamson out of Duke. And I don't know if anybody watched college basketball, but
He's a monster.
He's a monster. He's the heaviest player at 285 pounds. He's heavier than any other NBA player except for 7'7", some 7'7" player, and he's 6'7".
So that must mean he's an
But-
amazing basketball
But
player.
he can jump out of the roof with all that weight, which is amazing. Anyway, so they drafted him. He's probably going to be power forward. Julius Randle may or may not re-sign with them. Brandon Ingram from the Lakers. Drew Holiday is the all-star shooting guard they have. They also got Josh Hart, who can play point guard, shooting guard. And they got Lonzo Ball from the Lakers. So it's basically the New Orleans Lakers,
Nice.
in my opinion. I don't know what they're going to do at center. They still have Jahlil Okafor. Like I said, it doesn't matter. When you look at the Lakers' potential lineup, Kyle Kuzma, which is, again, one of my favorite players, LeBron James, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he's okay. Rajon Rondo is a really good point guard, and Anthony Davis at center. Their depth looks terrible at Reggie Bullock, Lance Stevenson, Jamario Jones.
Anthony Davis is a center?
He's a center. He's like 6'11", 7 foot.
Wow.
But he moves like a friggin'
Point guard?
damn near like him and the Greek Freak. Oh my God, they're one and the same player.
Really?
They're both almost 7-footers and they move like guards. So that's why it was that's why they sacrificed so much, but I personally would have done that. But they also got JaVale McGee, Tyson Chandler, and they're trying to get rid of Mo Wagner, who was last year's first-round draft pick. Here's the mistake the Lakers made. And I'll try to get through this as quick and as orderly as I can.
Sure.
If the Lakers had waited until the end of next month, they would have been able to clear enough cap space in order to sign another major player. So right now, with this deal allegedly going through by July 6th, and if Anthony Davis waives his no trade clause, I think it's a no trade clause, for like $4 million, they currently have 23-point-something million versus if they waited till the end of July, it would have been 32. So that's like $9 million, which is kind of a major gap.
It's a player, right?
Yeah, that is a full player, maybe two. So that might be a mistake that they've made. And with that number 4 pick that's been tossed around, because like I said, the Lakers initially got the number 4 pick. They traded the number 4 pick to New Orleans. New Orleans traded that number 4 pick to the Atlanta Hawks in a package. So that's been exchanged 3 times before they made the pick tonight, which that number 4 pick was DeAndre Hunter out of Virginia, who's a power forward. He's a really good player.
Right.
So the draft is going on tonight. We're missing it. I'm missing it. Whoever's watching this may or may not be watching it. But
he still has his phone.
Update. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for an update, guys. Come on, man.
He
so
still has his phone next to him though. So I mean,
He's not.
we
missing it.
were nice enough to go. He's got the draft going on tonight. Let me have his phone.
So that's what's going on with that number 4 pick. That's for me. That's major nuts. That number 1, that pick got shoved around 3 times
Right.
before it's even drafted. So all of these deals have to go through before it's official by July the 6th.
Right.
And that's what, 2 weeks away. So that's kind of major.
So let me ask you a question. You remember we're old enough to remember back in the 90s when players like Larry Johnson, Steve Smith, uh, Grant Hill, Christian Leitner.
I just wonder
All
what era you're in.
the Fab Five, all of those players were coming out of
Mhm.
major colleges,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Would you imagine that 20 years later, or 20, 25 years later, this is what the NBA would become? That the fourth pick has been shuffled around 3 different times by 3 different teams in an attempt to build a great team. Is that the impact that free agency has had on the NBA years later? Because let me tell you, like, here's what I've noticed. Basketball players, they get paid, and the union backs them.
Mhm.
Baseball players, they get paid, and the union backs them. Football players, you have to be within the top 15% in order to make a major contract.
Mhm.
And the union doesn't really have their back, even though they say that they do.
That's the most dangerous sport too, which is kind of
You
fucking
would-
insane.
Next to
You would
hockey.
think they next to hockey.
Okay.
But literally, your job is to continuously bang someone,
Mhm.
like bang heads with someone else,
Mhm.
in a power sport. And here we are, we're shuffling around picks, trying to create the next dream team,
Mhm.
and these guys are getting paid, but the NFL is not offering their players union is not going to bat for them to get the same contracts that NBA players are getting, that NBL or MLB players are getting. Why?
While that's a whole nother conversation, and I'm not prepared to get into that conversation. I know exactly what you're talking about. The bottom line is that sports entertainment is a business. The faithfulness of player and franchise is that line's gone. So the owners are not trying to pay a certain dollar amount if they're not winning a certain number of games.
Right.
So the players are like, well, if you're not going to pay me, somebody's going to pay me, if they're that great a player. But it's all been business, and that's the unfortunate part of the evolution of that sport. You're saying from 20 years ago.
Right. I mean, Chris Webber never got a contract like this.
He probably never would have.
No. Christian Leitner never got a
Would have.
contract like this.
But you,
Like if the NBA had a Hall of Fame, I don't know, do they?
Yeah.
They do.
Everyone does.
So Chris Webber is definitely a candidate.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Dude, he's legit.
He didn't have a productive long enough career
You don't
to,
think
to
so?
be considered for the Hall of Fame. Maybe college, but not pro.
What about Grant Hill?
Didn't play long enough.
What about
I had a
Steve Smith?
Grant Hill
Didn't
jersey.
play long enough.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
He's already in there.
He is already in there?
Yeah.
I bet. I mean, Shaq's probably in there, right? You better be. Kobe be.
But you're talking the top, like you said, it's probably the top 15% of that era are the ones who are considered Hall of Fame bound.
But they also, like 20 years ago, didn't move from team to team.
They did not. You're exactly right. But for some reason, when they
Because
started trying to
Kobe
make
was
these,
a Lakers player.
What?
Kobe was a Lakers player. I mean, you had Jordan. He was a Bulls player.
Mhm.
There was
Bird,
no
Magic,
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas never switched teams.
no.
But I think when they started to move around, when Kobe got Shaq, LeBron went over to Miami. That was the era when that started to make
Yeah.
these super teams. But here's a funny
I
thing.
think when Shaq went to Magic, that was when it hit, and it
he
was
was
just like
drafted by the Magic.
Yeah.
And when he went to the Lakers, that's what the play
Yeah.
with Kobe. That was
That
part
was
of that era.
that was a dream bromance.
Because
right
even before he hit LA, he had Anthony Hardaway. Penny.
He was always injured.
I know, but he
Always
was.
injured. T-Mac.
He was
And
in
they-
every
and they-
commercial.
And
when
they
he was
had
injured.
T-Mac
T-Mac
and
was-
Grant Hill, right?
Barely had Grant Hill, but what I'm saying is that it's turned into a business lately. So you don't have guys who are like, I'll give you the hometown discount to stay here. Players are getting shuffled around. It's to me it's ridiculous. There's no. For me it's
There's
difficult.
no loyalty anymore.
To me, it's difficult to buy a player's jersey without having to buy the 6 other teams he's going to play for,
Right.
Yeah.
and that breaks my heart.
I had 3 NBA jerseys growing up. They were all Grant Hill from the Pistons, and they were the away team one, the home team one, and a special team one.
Well, Grant Hill also played for the Magic.
Yeah, but it
Who else
was
did he play
before
for?
that era.
He barely played for them,
Yeah.
so he was always injured. That's why he won't. Unfortunately, he was a great player, but he'll
Yeah.
never make the Hall of Fame.
No, but I had 3 jerseys from the NBA, and they were all Grant Hill Pistons.
See, I was a Michigan fan, so I had Weber.
Well, I didn't like the Pistons. I just liked his jersey.
Do you like what he did? He did draft night. What happened to him draft night?
Weber?
He got traded draft night.
Yeah, because he got drafted by the Bullets, didn't he?
Yep. Oh, yes. Was it? Because he got traded for. No, he got drafted by the Magic.
Oh, yeah.
I think he got drafted by the Magic and traded for Grant Hill.
Yeah. To the
they had-
Bullets, and he played in Washington. Then from Washington, he went to Sacramento.
Or was he?
Glenn Robinson, man. There's so many great names from when I
They
was
were
younger.
great college players.
Yeah, they were.
Because I love Robinson.
Big
Loved
dog.
him at Purdue. Loved him. 30 points a game. Junior season before he drafted. Loved watching him play.
But I
But,
went to school with a dude that ended up playing with him at Purdue.
but he faded out so bad.
Yeah.
He was such a great player. And now his kid is playing NBA now.
Yeah.
Glenn
Played at
in third.
Michigan.
Glenn Robinson in third.
So,
That's all I got.
that's all you got? All right.
3 pages of shit, though.
No, that's only one.
Oh,
I loaded it up.
you put all your anger onto one page? I'm proud of you.
I had to limit it because I could have went all night.
He totally 8-miled his his Lakers rant.
I sure did.
All right, fair enough.
I don't.
So for the people that we're about to send to YouTube, to my right
And Facebook. We gotta break
and
it up.
Facebook, we'll share this.
You
on Facebook
gotta
as well.
share them everything.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna ultimately share, and then you're gonna share. Then those people will also share,
So your grandma can follow us.
so your grandma can follow us. That's exactly what we're looking for
Yeah.
right now.
Senior market.
Let her know.
Hi,
that-
Rose.
Let her know that there is bastards in the name, and I guarantee she'll hit that like link.
I like these bastards.
I like these bastards.
I can't
to my
say
right.
The Nuge.
To my left,
Mr. Classic.
and of course I'm B Smith, man. 3 Crafty Bastards. We're out on YouTube. We'll be back with another segment.
And
We're
Facebook.
still here on Facebook. Y'all can continue to watch us live because we keep the party going.
Thank you for not making me drink the rest of that, whatever that is.
You're welcome, man. I got you, dude.